Wait. Sorry about that. I'm on my way to work. When I post yesterday's video, I'll definitely add some parts of it that I talked about, especially especially from the morning. I was a little more coherent, but yeah, holy shit, not safe to drive all tired, super tired like I was. I literally watching the video, you could see my eyes kind of droop, and then like realized that I was asleep, and I sort of woke up. It happens an unfortunate amount of time. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing you can really do except just try your best. Luckily, like, the roads aren't too busy, and like I'm not like narcoleptic where it's like falling asleep where I kind of lose all control of my motor functions. I don't know. Sorry for blasting the AC real quick. Actually, that's what I need to do. I need to put on the AC. Yeah, I don't know. I struggle with insomnia really bad. It's a little tidbit about me. I've been, I don't know. I've been dealing with it for a long part of my life. Insomnia is kind of one of those weird ones, though, where it kind of goes, I don't know, it's a lot like ADD, where it's just very easily undiagnosed, where people just think, like, I don't know, you're not trying to go to sleep or whatnot. But I've had sleep problems since at least middle school. I've just always had trouble sleeping, like the idea of going to sleep. I really struggle to force myself to sleep. So for like most of my, I would say, adult life, like since I was probably like 15 to now, so I'm 22, I've pretty much operated on like short naps, but mainly just like I kind of sleep when I'm exhausted and it's easy to. And other than that, I just sort of tank it, which really sucks because it's not fun not sleeping. I kind of tell, like, I've told people before where I don't think I'm necessarily have insomnia, but I just have ADD, and like a byproduct of my ADD is that I just the actual process of like stopping what I'm doing and getting down and sleeping is an issue, which it is an issue, and it might stem from that. But I really do think I have the more pure form of insomnia of struggling to sleep, because I was thinking about it, where it's like there's been a lot of times in my life where I've laid down and then I've gotten back up, like tried to sleep, couldn't, and I've gotten back up to just do stuff. And I've always kind of written that off as just ADD, but it probably is just straight insomnia. Because, like, I don't know, I can't really tell you the last time I like went to bed without being like damn near exhausted. Actually, scratch that, I can. See, this is another weird part about the thing, though, is I actually have no trouble going to sleep during the day. It's just at nighttime, I am like wired, like, it feels like I'm wired to be awake. I could be dead exhausted. I could pass out 10 p.m., wake up 10 a.m., and then not even 3 hours later go, fuck it, I'm not even tired, I'll just take a nap just to kill some time, and I'll nap, and it's easy, and then I'll wake up. But if I try to do that at night, it just doesn't work. I don't know. It's very weird. It does suck, man. I can't tell you how many classes and like even like social events I've sort of blown off because either I was too tired or I knew that like it would fuck up my somewhat semblance of a sleep schedule that I was maintaining at the time, and it would just ruin me anyway. I don't know. I need to go to a doctor. I need to start getting put on medicine and such. Because I was really thinking about it, and I was like, man, the only time ever that I've had like a real good sleep schedule is this guy's going 100. Is like right when I moved to Colorado, I was taking a lot of melatonin at the time. And that was the last time I really had good, like, solid sleep and like a good sleep schedule. So maybe I just need to invest in that. But I was also taking like a kind of unhealthy amount of melatonin, so like I need something stronger. Those like little, like I had like a big jar of those like 10-gram melatonin gummies, and I'd probably eat like 5 or 6 a night. It was like a jar of 100. It like lasted me like almost a month, and then I'd buy another one, and it was like $15 total or some shit, maybe more. Which the reason at the time I was taking them wasn't even because of my sleep. It was because I had like night terrors for a bit. I just had really bad dreams, and melatonin knocked me out enough where I didn't really dream. But now thinking about it too, part of the also reason I took it is because I really struggled to sleep. So I don't know. So it probably is that. I don't think I've ever really given it proper credence. So I don't know. It is weird. Another thing I've done for like a good chunk of my life is, which again I didn't really even realize I was doing this per se, but I was sort of self-medicating with alcohol, which I never really thought about that until I was talking to my aunt, because I was thinking about it and I was like, man, like the only times I really like I don't really drink alcohol as like a social thing. I do in a sense of like I do it when I'm like trying to play games with my friends and stuff, but I also do it alone. And I don't know, she asked me why I was doing it alone, and I just told her that like it kind of chills me out, and then it helps me sleep. And she was like, yeah, that's not, you're not really supposed to use it like that. And I was like, okay, now that makes a lot of sense. She used the term self-medicating for it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that is kind of what I'm doing with it. Which, man, what an inexpensive and unhealthy way of self-medicating. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I gotta get on that. Actually, like when I get home today, I'm going to look up a doctor and make an appointment. I just gotta. It sucks. It doesn't help that like not only do I think like mental illnesses like this, which I guess it's technically a mental illness, I don't really like the stigma around it. It's more of like a mental ailment, not even that. I guess neurodivergence is the correct term, where it's just like my head is wired differently. But not only are they really hard to diagnose, but I mean, I just grew up in like not only like an area where like my teachers and stuff, but my parents too are just really anti-medication. They're firm believers that like if you have chronic insomnia or whatever, you just need to try harder to go to sleep, and that if you like take drugs, it's gonna like string you out and make you zombie-like and whatnot. That's what I got told a lot. Cause I remember when I was really young, like 7th grade, I insidious about a lot of, I want to say like ideological thought that people don't even realize is I like things that they don't have a basis in, but to them it's just like a lived experience, like common sense sort of thing. Because like my dad has never particularly like, I've never really talked to him about being medicated, but I've also heard from him, like unprompted, he'll just be like, yeah, oh yeah, I knew a kid who had anxiety once, or like I think it was depression. He was like, I knew a kid who had depression once, but like, man, I like to this day, I think he just needed to get over it. And it's like, well, okay, I don't even think I have like depression. Maybe at some point, but like not bad enough where I would say I need medicated for it. But I was just like, I remember thinking at the time, I was like, damn, I guess I'm just fucked if I ever do have depression. And he just didn't even like consider anything bad with it. That was just a neutral statement. I don't know. It just sucks. I remember one time, this was post the mom death, where, God, what was it? Lily, my sister, was taking like medication for like period cramps or whatever. I forget what it's called. And I remember she asked Dad to like, I forget what it was. I couldn't remember if it was. I don't even know if it was pure like I can't remember if the pills were for pain, like cramp pain relief, or hormonal levels. But I want to say it was like cramp, like pain relief. But I remember she asked to buy some because she would just kind of take Tylenol, but Tylenol doesn't really work for that sort of thing. Or like it also depends on the person. So she asked for it, and I remember like. She was so upset, which I would be too if I was in her shoes. I remember Dad just told her to kind of like, no, you don't need that. Like, you can take Tylenol. If Tylenol's not good enough, you can just sort of tough it out. She freaked out, which like again, just like deserved crash out. But I was like, what a insane thing to say. Like, it's one thing, and keep in mind, by the way, it was like it's very easily affordable. It's like $10 a month or whatever for like the pill she was asking for. Dad and Lily like both spend $10 a month on way stupider things they don't use. Like it was so ridiculous. It's crazy. And part of the reason, by the way, is and his reasoning for it wasn't even like a like a pure like not understanding, but it was the belief that period medicine's not really any different than like Tylenol. It's just like placebo, like that sort of weird sort of like drug medicine denial. And it's like, okay, man, based on what, by the way? Just vibes. You just pure vibes. Just does not really care, not looking into it. It's absurd. I'm like 5 minutes late. It's fine. I have like a 15-minute window. I have to be at work. I don't know, but yeah, it's actually, like I said, I need to get on it. But part of the struggle I've had with like actually making a doctor's appointment is, I'll be honest, like I really don't know how to, in the sense that like last time I've been to a doctor is probably when I got like my last like school sports physical good like 6 years ago. Like I didn't go to a doctor the entire time I was in college, except for one visit to the ER because I had a like really bad allergy asthma attack. I needed to be put on a respirator for a bit, but that's kind of a extra circumstance. And then yeah, when I moved out here, I didn't for 2 years either. So I haven't been to a doctor in 6 years, much less like know how to do that. for me. But I need to learn how to do it myself, because that seems important. So I don't know. I'm free all next week, and then I think I'm free the Monday, Friday after that, more or less. So I don't know, I need to do that. If like the appointment date's even that close, I might have to wait longer. Only thing that sucks is I have to drive the 45 minutes to like a bigger town probably for it, which kind of blows. Maybe more. I'll have to check what providers I have in my area. Don't know. I'll have another half hour with you guys. Yeah, part of the daily vlog thing is just really nothing goes on in my life. I guess like most of these should only probably be like 5, maybe 10 minutes more if you have something to say, but I don't know, 45 minutes every day is kind of crazy if you're not like talking directly with someone about a topic. Well, I don't know, so there might be some silence here. Oh, I'll add that too. Another really annoying part of fucking having like insomnia or whatever is dude, people like, I drink energy drinks. I drink a lot, get it twisted. I'll be the first to admit I probably drink too much of them, but one, it's kind of gotten to the point where like caffeine doesn't really do for me what it does for other people, partly because I'm just a big guy, but also because of like tolerance levels and stuff. Like, for how long I've been drinking it, that caffeine doesn't really hit me the same as other people. Yeah, it'll be shit like, yeah, I've told people like I was drinking like a coffee one time in like the morning after I got like on the way to school. Like, I was in my first class and I was drinking it because I was dead tired from the last night. And so like I got no sleep, maybe like 20 minutes. So I bought a coffee, like triple shot espresso. I'm in my first class, just trying to stay awake. Someone asked me like, how you doing? You know, he's like, you look tired. I'm like, yeah, I didn't get no sleep last night. And then they look down, look at the coffee I'm drinking first thing in the morning and go, oh, well, it's probably because you kind of drink those things. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Keep in mind, this person doesn't really know my habits or anything like that. Like, they didn't know I drink Monsters or anything, or even like how late I drink them. So just based on the idea that I was having a coffee, and from her like perspective, just a normal ass like frappuccino at like 8 in the morning, that was the reason my sleep was off. And I remember again just being dumbfounded. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, we're drinking coffee and caffeine. And I was just like, okay, like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, because you can't really just be like, no, that's not the reason I'm like not able to sleep, because you can technically see the through line in her logic, and like they were just given a suggestion, right? It wasn't like it's not like it was a doctor saying it. It was just like a person that's like trying to maybe be helpful / give advice. Like, she wasn't even being particularly judgy about it. Like, it was just pure, just like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe just don't drink those then, I guess. But I remember just being like, okay, that's cool. Not even like the first like thought of just like, oh, was it like, I don't know, did something like keep you up or anything, like noise or some shit? No, it was just pure, just saw caffeine and ripped it. I was like, that's crazy work. Yeah, I was at work like a few months ago, and I was drinking a Monster at work, and my boss asked me, you know, like, said I looked tired. I was like, yeah, you know, I have trouble sleeping sometimes, and a much more like judgmental though. He's like, oh, well, you know, like those Monsters can't like be helpful or whatever. And it's like, dude, we got motherfuckers like, I don't know. It just blows me away. Especially because my personal favorite is when like I had someone kind of hit the same line, but I knew this person better, and they would drink, I'm not joking, maybe like 8 cups of coffee a day. Like their first like cup in the morning would be like this big thermos, and it was like probably probably like 48 ounces, and they would drink it. And then they had like a afternoon coffee, which was probably like 16 ounces. And then like at like dinner time, they would have like 24 ounces. And they would sleep like a baby, by the way. And then this one was funnier because this was a time where I really killed my caffeine consumption. It was I think almost 2 months as I had like my last like Monster, and I had like one like probably 16-ounce cup of coffee like here and there, like no extra espresso or anything. And I shit you not, I think I was like, I had in front of me, I was at the cafeteria, like my food, I had like half a can or like half a glass, probably like 8 ounces of Sprite, and then I also had like a 8-ounce cup of tea I made, because I just hadn't had tea in a while, and I said I had trouble sleeping, and I swear to God they looked me dead in the eyes. It was like, you're drinking like caffeine, and I'm like, brother in Christ, like what are we talking about, man? Like Sprite has like maybe like 30 ounces of caffeine or whatever. The tea I was drinking, I think even was caffeine free, and I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like the Sprite probably has like more sugar in it that would keep me awake than the caffeine. And again, I was just like, you motherfucker, you drink more caffeine than anyone I've known, like, and you sleep fine, so clearly that's not what we're talking about. It blows me away sometimes. Unsolicited medical advice is rough shit for a lot of people, especially when it comes from like not just knowledgeable sources, but sources who understand that they're not knowledgeable about it, right? Like, it's one thing if I was to say it and they'd be like, I don't know what's causing it. Like, kind of like the doctor's approach where they kind of ask questions, where like, if I said that, like, I had trouble sleeping, and they asked me, instead of like, you should stop doing this or whatever, they just like, oh, does caffeine keep you up? At least I can be like, no, I don't really think it's the caffeine. Like, I've struggled with it a lot longer times I haven't had caffeine, whatever. Then I don't know, maybe there's like more of a discussion there, like the sort of doctor's clinical approach to it. But what the fuck do I know? I love the same thing with oh god, I love those comments with weight too. I'm a real big guy. I'm like I'm a little under 300 pounds, I think. I've been big for a long time, but like some of my favorite like moments is that like I've done sports my entire life. Like not just like casually like free ball type shit, but I've been in school in clubs doing sports since like I was probably 10 years old, like Little League baseball, all the way until I was 16. But I've always been big. I've always been kind of chubbier. I kind of blame it on, one, genetics. My uncles are kind of fucked. Two, just eating. Like, I don't know. I grew up pretty poor. I can't imagine the food I was eating was very good. Most of it was like preservative filled, like fucking cold meat type shit. If that, honestly. A lot of butter type shit. That sort of thing. That's more what I blame it on. But, you know, and especially like even post 16, I still worked out. Like, I went to the gym like at least every other day for a good like 3 years. I did pretty much every machine, tried to work out all my muscles. I did cardio. I would jog occasionally. Mainly I would bike. I've always been big, and so I just fucking, and part of it too is, especially later in life, I just did kind of like 14 age-ish where I was food scarce. I had to steal food for a bit because frankly my mom wasn't too involved in caretaking, I guess would describe it. And then so like I would go like multiple days without eating, and then I would be able to eat again, and kind of ping pong like that. So I got a kind of a mental block where if I have food available to me, I probably overeat a little too much, which is one of the reasons I'm big. So even despite like me working out like I did and keeping like, and this was probably at 14 and 16, I was like the most active I ever did. I was in football for the first time, where I would do like exercises like 6 days a week, like 4 hours a day type beat. And even then, like I only managed to slim down to I think like 240. A lot of muscle type stuff. But so yeah, it's my absolute favorite though is when like, not even unprompted, it'll be some kind of tangential information where it'll be some shit where it's like, okay, I really like I like goth type looks. I think they look good on people, guys and girls. And I've had this conversation with people where I was like, but I don't think I could really pull it off. I was like, I would look ridiculous in like a fishnet stocking, right? And then just from that, it goes into like a kind of a body shaping conversation on like what you need to do, like, and not directed at me, just like in general, just like, yeah, you need kind of a certain body type, this and this. I'm like, yeah, I just don't think I could really pull it off. And then someone always just adds like a comment of like, oh, well, you know, you just need to probably eat less, like just hit the gym a lot more. And like, and this was at a time where I was going to the gym like almost like 2.5 hours a day, like 5 days a week, like spread out. And I was just like, yeah, man. And they're like, yeah. And I always love to. It's like, yeah, if you ever want to go sometime, just like hit me up. Like, we can get you on that. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. Like, for sure. That sounds like a great time. Like, you piece of shit. It's crazy. I don't know. You just can't make comments about people like that. It blows me away. I don't really know. I don't really have much more to add on to that. It's just unsolicited advice sometimes from people is pretty crazy. You see it all the time with like, God, people when it comes to knowledge about things really fucking suck at this. People love hitting like a read more or like you didn't understand it the first time when a lot of people did. Like it's a communication error. That shit's also really frustrating. It doesn't happen to me very much because I don't tend to put myself in those kinds of conversations, but you know, it still happens. Will say though, and this is part of the reason where it's like that is another medication thing I want to try. I really do want to try Ozempic. I think maybe I know it kills your hunger a lot, and so I think like once my hunger is really gone, I can more easily tackle my wanton desire of food when I see it. Because I've heard like not only does it not make you like it makes you not hungry, it like actively kind of dissuades you from eating if you're not hungry. So I'm hoping that it'll be useful as kind of like a first steps to sort of break me out of that. Because I've tried like on my own before, just like mental powering through it, but you know, I can do it for a time, but eventually I'll break. There'll be a dinner or something that's like real big, like Thanksgiving or some shit, and I'll be real hungry and I'll eat like a lot, and then from that point on, and like again the next time I see food, it's like, oh yeah, I can eat as much as yesterday, so I need to. And that's really not how that works. There are some days where you just kind of eat a lot more than others, and that's more normal. Or you know, you eat the same amount and like it's like way less than something like on Thanksgiving, which is probably the more normal one. So I don't know. I'm hoping if I took something like Ozempic, it'd kind of break that for a bit for me. I'm kind of worried though, because like my insurance only covers, it's like $5 copay on generic drugs, and I think 40% like copay. Like I'd have to pay 40% of like tier 2. I'm not even probably like 150 or less, I'd do it. We'll have to see. Because I wouldn't eat it forever. I know some people kind of take it forever, and I also don't think there's anything wrong with taking a certain medicine forever, even if it is something like Ozempic where it's kind of seen as cosmetic or whatnot. But mainly, like, I'm talking price reasons. I don't hope. Ideally, you only have to take it for like a few months. Again, just kind of get me started on breaking my food habits. I don't know. We will see. Just another reason I need to get to a doctor who can help me. Better than it used to be. Thinking about it just brings it back. I used to have really bad, like, I don't know what to call it, tics, I guess. Not like a Tourette sort of way, but I would pretty constantly, like, I'd make that clicking sound a lot, I'd whistle a lot. Almost like, I don't know how to describe it. I wouldn't even like be like thinking about it, and then I would do it once, and then I would like feel like a compulsion to keep doing it in like a pattern. Because it'd be like click, and then click, click, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I would just sort of do that on repeat for a while. Really bad. I think I used to do it. I don't know. I think when I get really stressed or anxious, I do it, because I did it mainly like sophomore year of college, and that's when I was probably like a time in my life when I was probably like up there on the most stressed. I was doing my capstone thesis during that time, and sleep was not good, so I used to do it all the time. Ever since then, I haven't really done it. I did it now, so my jaw really wants to. It feels weird, but I'm going to power through that, I think. So I don't really know what that's about. A therapist diagnosed me. I say a therapist. It's not like it's a psychiatrist. It was more of like a counselor. Gave me like an unofficial diagnosis of PTSD once. Said it was kind of a result from that. That things that kind of set off my anxiety. Which is like loud bangs type of stuff, fireworks, trash can, like big, like the metal trash can lids and such, those kind of bangs, car crashes, that sort of deal. They trigger my heart, like my heart rate to go way up, and I feel that's when like my compulsion's strongest. So it's like kind of those conditions where it makes me want to do it. But luckily, I think I've sort of grown out of that or grown past it. Who knows? You know, I just be like that might be something that kind of comes and goes as needed for a long period of time. I really hate it. These motherfuckers in front of me going 50 and a goddamn 65. Hate these people. But I don't know. Luckily, I don't think I have to worry about that one too much. That's sort of it. Kind of just health update, I suppose. I'm about like 5 minutes out from my job, so I'm probably just going to end the little recording here. So anyone who watched this, thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any similar experiences or insights. I would appreciate that. I'd love to hear about it. Yeah. Have a great day. Real quick, I'm probably not going to make a recording video on the way home. I do have a topic for tomorrow. Well, I guess I won't be making one tomorrow. Thursday, I'm going to be talking about gender probably. And like a not right-wing light, but maybe not as positive a light. We'll you'll have to tune in. See ya.